Hey guys, Pellow here. Today we're going to take a look at my phone. I've been wanting to do a review on this for a while now, and now we're finally getting around to it. So, here we go. This is the Google Pixel 2 XL, released back in August of 2017, I believe. Let's try and take the case off, but we'll do that in a second. This phone's done me pretty well. The only thing that is really broken with it is got a little crack up here in the top left. Let's see if I can get that in the camera there. It's got a little crack right there. Dropped it a couple times in the corner. I'll show you more about that in a minute, but let's take this case off real quick. So the case, let's go start with that first. This is the Spigen, or Spigen, whatever you want to, I don't even know how it's pronounced. Had this case the entire time I've had the phone. And it's great. Has a little magnet thing attached, but I don't ever use that. I just like the case. It's very thin. It's very durable. It has that little crack up in the corner there. But that's because I dropped it a lot. I think I dropped it about 3 times in the corner there. So we'll go ahead and move that over to the side and we'll take a look at the phone. Like I said, this is the Google Pixel 2 XL Panda edition. Panda. It's nice. I really like it. My favorite phone I've bought for sure. Fingerprint sensor right there in the back instead of on the front. There's nothing down here. It does have the dual speakers though. So the one on the bottom and one on the top. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Has a power button, which is the orange button there. Right below it, I guess that's another little defect, I guess you could say, is the volume up and down button has started to get the paint started to wear away a little bit. But that's nothing. I mean, that's after a year of use, you know? And then on the side here, you've got the SIM card. Does not have support for an SD card. That's kind of, a bummer, but it is what it is. I've not had an issue until the past couple weeks or so. But I haven't even monitored my storage use at all the past year. But recently I've had to delete some pictures on Snapchat and stuff like that, because I had 22 gigabytes worth of pictures because Snapchat was saving everything onto the local storage. So had to change that. But I like the black and white. It's really nice. Like I said, they call it the Panda edition. It's black and white. You've got the little Chrome Google symbol there. And let me clean this off real quick and let's actually get to the content. So here it is. Here's the phone. No lag or anything. Nothing. I mean, this is a AAA. This is definitely a flagship device. Top tier. So you're not going to find any. It's going to work. And so I'm just nitpicking here when I talk about some of the bad things about it, but it does have a lot of good things about it. So let's start with some of the buttons some more. So I've got it set up right now. So if I double tap the power button, it'll pull up the camera. Get some pictures here for you guys. I got the wall right there. Now the crack in the top left-hand screen that I was talking about earlier does have an issue. Ooh, we're going to get that camera in there. And it looks fine right now, but let's see if I can get that glare. No, you can see it a little bit. No, it's not too bad right now. But yeah, there's a little bit of a glare because the crack goes right over the front camera. But you know what? That's how it is. That's how it be sometimes. That's how it be. Let's move on from the camera. It also has the nice Google squeeze function. So if you squeeze the sides here, didn't do it hard enough. I'll do it with one hand like I usually do. So if I squeeze the bottom of it, it'll pull up Google Assistant right there. And like you can see, the Google Assistant is really good. It can keep up to whatever I'm saying and yada, 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 and talk, and it'll always pick up what you're trying to say. So it's real nice. It can, it works normally like, hey, Google, what time does the Super Bowl start?
On Sunday, the Patriots will be playing the Rams at 6:30 p.m.
Forgot I have my home set up for Google. So now if we just squeeze it though, hey, when is the Super Bowl?
On Sunday, the Patriots will play the Rams at Mercedes
Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 6:30 p.m.
6:30. Who you guys got? I got the Patriots by 14. Patriots by 14. We'll see if my prediction's right. You heard it here first, boys and girls and kids and elderly and the retired and everybody else. But yeah, let's start out with some of my least favorite parts of this phone, so we can end it on a good note. So let's go to the settings page real quick. So we're gonna go here to the settings, and they have, it's the Google OS, so it has its own settings. See, there we go. We're at 89% used in storage right there. You guys can take a look at that. 57 gigs. This is a 64 gig version. There is a 128 as well. I don't think there's a 256. I don't know why you would ever need a quarter of a terabyte for a cell phone, but hey, to each their own. And you can still see that the majority of my storage is in my photos and videos. That's going to be from Snapchat and all my YouTube stuff as well. And then followed by music and audio, which is going to be my Spotify. I have Spotify Premium because I love to listen to music. If you guys want to check out my Spotify account, maybe I'll do a video about that sometime. But going on, actually I wanted to talk about the settings. So my least favorite part about this phone, and they fixed it just recently, but this has been an issue for months. They actually just recently changed it, but for months this was an issue. So let's just say, for example, I don't know how it is set up right now, but I think my notification volume is turned down. So let's say I want to turn it up. Well, you could just turn the volume up, right? Well, no. This is the media volume, and you cannot change that. There's no, you can change that, but that doesn't really do much of anything. You'll see. So you've got to press the settings and then manually turn everything down. Now, what used to happen is, say, I've got everything down right now and I just want to turn up my ring, my notifications. If I would turn it up just like that, you can hear my notifications going off. If I turned it up just like that, another thing would just randomly turn on. And then another thing would just randomly turn on. And then if I wanted to turn that down, then something else would, and you couldn't do one thing at a time. If you adjusted one thing, then something else would change. So you'd have to constantly be swiping for about 20 seconds or so to turn everything all the way down. And that was a huge hassle and a huge problem I had and a huge complaint I had about this phone. But like I said, just recently, as in the past week or so, they finally fixed that. And it had been an issue for several months. Yeah, something worth mentioning though. Why, I don't intend on ever buying another Google phone. And the biggest reason about that is this has been my favorite phone I've ever bought up until the past couple months or so. It never had really any updates. It never really changed anything for the first 8 months or so of me owning this phone. Then the Google Pixel 3 came out, and they started pushing out updates. And there was probably several updates a week, I would think. And it changed everything. That's when the sound issues started coming. That's when my battery started becoming absolute trash. This doesn't last me a full day anymore. And before, it used to last me a day and a half to 2 days. And that's with me running battery saver. If I had battery saver off, this phone would probably last like 3 hours. And that's ridiculous. But when the updates started coming out and they started changing the OS and changing settings and stuff like that, the battery life became garbage. And if you guys are familiar with the whole tech community and phones and stuff like that, you'll hear some similarities. That sounds very similar to what Apple does to their users. And you guys will soon realize I loathe Apple. They are the worst company for consumers, I think, ever. And I wish I was exaggerating, but they have conned everybody into buying their products every year, upgrading every year. And if you don't upgrade, then this happens. Your battery life becomes worse. Your settings change. You get these random things, going on. Like another issue I have with this phone all the time. I can't say all the time. It's happened twice, and I don't know why. The last time it happened, all I did was exactly what I'm doing right now, swipe down, and I turned on my Bluetooth. And the phone froze and just made this unbearable, loud, screeching noise, like coming from the speakers. Don't know what happened. It happened once more before that with me just opening up Snapchat, just like that. And it just froze. Weird noise, very loud. And it was just awful. And thankfully I wasn't at work or in class during either of those times. But if I was, can you imagine? That would be awful. You're in a business meeting or something like that. You open up your phone to check your calendar and you just get this loud, obnoxious sound. And the only way to stop it was to hold down the power button for about 20 seconds. But that whole time it's screeching, and it's upsetting because those issues never happened before, they never happened before the Google Pixel 3 came out. And obviously, I think this is Google's way of manipulating me into buying the Google Pixel 3, which is not going to happen. I'm going to run this phone into the ground, and then I'm going to move on to something else. I'm done with Google. I'm upset with the way that they have treated their customers over the past couple months, but it is what it is. They're out there for the money. They're not out there for us. And the sooner we realize that, the better. But yeah, I've talked a lot about crap about this phone. Now let's talk about some good things. By far, my favorite part of this phone and of anyone that has recommended this phone, they have to highly, highly recommend the camera. It is just the best camera of any smartphone I've ever come across. It's just phenomenal. I'm going to move over here a little bit and talk more about the phone because I'm going to try and attach some pictures, videos, and stuff like that here so you guys can see what I mean about how amazing this phone is. I took some pictures of myself on my way home from work today, and I loved it. So let's pull this out a little bit. But yeah, this is my favorite camera of any phone I've ever come across. It's just amazing. And Google has done great with that, and they are still pushing out amazing updates for this. They are doing a great job, but it doesn't make up for all the other crap that they're doing to their consumers. But yeah, so let's take a look at the normal camera. Let's look at its settings. So we have our panorama pictures. We have our portrait here. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. We have a panorama, portrait, just your typical camera, video, and more. Under more, we have the newest and, in my opinion, my favorite part of the standard Google camera is this night sight. Night sight is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna link some pictures here. I just recently started using it again because I usually don't take many pictures at night because taking pictures at night is hard on cell phones. But with this night sight, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And I took some pictures at the stadium. I'll link that right here to the left so you guys can kind of compare. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this photosphere is, but I will try that out and let you guys know. And get some slow motion going, but that'll be in like 720p, obviously. Playground, don't really know what that is. But yeah, so overall, this camera is phenomenal, and I can't talk highly enough of it. I actually recorded my intro video to this channel on this phone because it records in 4K. Let's take a look at it real quick. So you got your back camera can go up to, it's got 12.2 megapixel. And the front camera is an 8 megapixel. It can do 4K at 30 or 1080 or 720 at 60, which is pretty nice. Very typical of modern flagship phones, but it's still better than other flagship phones, in my opinion. And then you have the front camera. You can do 1080, 720, or 480, all at 60 FPS as well. The video stabilization is amazing. It's not as good as this camera, actually, but it's pretty nice. Let's take a look at that real quick. So I'm gonna take a video here, and I'm gonna wiggle my hands. Do you see that? How smooth that is? Like I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't look really well on this camera, but It's very nice. Now, my favorite part about this camera is the actual optimization for Snapchat. Everybody wonders why Apple phones take better pictures. Well, Apple does have amazing cameras. Their cameras are amazing. But everybody complains that Android Snapchat pictures are god-awful. And they are. Long story short, the reason behind this is that Snapchat can make a specific Snapchat app for all of the iOS devices at the same time with just one app. And it's not so easy to do with Android because there's so many different Androids out there. So there's need to be a Snapchat app for each one. And then each phone has their own settings after that. So Snapchat hasn't optimized their app for every single Android because it's just not possible. There's too many of them. There's one Apple, one iOS, but there's hundreds and hundreds of different carriers and producers and, and not just here in America too. If you think about it, like Android is very popular globally. You think of Huawei, Huawei, Huawei. They are a Chinese company and they are top of the leaderboards over there in their country and slowly leaking over here to the United States. But yeah, they have an amazing product, but it's not not optimized for Snapchat. So let me show you what I mean by optimized. So let's zoom in a little bit, and I'm gonna take a picture here. Now, right before I press the button to take the picture, watch what happens to the screen. Ready now. See? Did you see that? Let's try it one more time. See if you got that. One more. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Do you see that? It changed again. And so what that is Snapchat optimizing its picture specifically to the Google Pixel 2 XL. So it does amazing, phenomenal pictures. And I'm not much of a photographer, so I don't know how to manually adjust all those settings. And it's amazing that Snapchat does that for me. I can't talk highly enough about that. But yeah, overall, it's a good phone. Best camera I've seen on a phone to date. Except for the Google Pixel 3, obviously I don't have that. I don't have that. So it may be better. But I'm not about to buy it. I'm done with Google phones. Ever since the Google Pixel 3 came out, they've been pushing updates for this one, and now it's trash. Battery life doesn't last me a day. The settings are all messed up, and there's just so much going on. And they've taken advice, I guess. I wouldn't say advice, but they've been following in the footsteps of Apple, and they've lost me as a customer because of that. It's just how it is. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little review there. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Yeah, I think I'm gonna continue doing this. This is gonna be Pellow's Tech Tips PTT for sure. And this is the first one in the installment because I've been wanting to talk about this phone for a while because I've been very disappointed with what Google has done recently. If you guys have any ideas for the next Pellow Tech Tips that I should do, let me know, and we'll get to it.